everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are going to look at a flip through of my August reading journal setup, and the reason it's a flip through is also to do with the weird angle that I've got you at right now. I am currently on bed rest. I unfortunately was seriously kicked by one of our horses and a freak accident in a storm last week, and I'm still unable to sit at a desk. I have to keep my leg elevated. It's a very long process of recovery at the minute. Thankfully nothing is broken that they could tell, but it's been quite painful. So I actually spent some time setting this up in bed on this makeshift table that I've got. It's been wonderful having something to do whilst in bed because I'm bored out of my brains. But yes, I set this up already. I couldn't film it at the same time, there just wasn't enough space. So I'll share some of the pages and the pens with you now, but I do want to point out that I've made a mistake. We've got July's reading log here, and I was meant to leave an extra page to set up the stats. So future me has to figure out how that's going to work. I might have to do it after August's setup, or just put a tip in. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I just thought I'd point that out. Anyway, this is my theme, and I know that I've used a lot of pinks and purples in this book. If you've followed along with this journal since the start of January, you would have noticed that this colour seems to come up quite a lot. I really liked this paper though. It comes from that Pale Garden paper pad set that I used for, I think, June? Was it? Yes, I believe it was June. Let me just see really quick. Yeah, it came from the same paper pack. So I really liked how vintage it looked and the greys that were in it. So I've actually got a lot of grey in this. I know you can't see it on the setup of this front page, but the purple and the pinks are sort of secondary to the greys, if that makes sense. The other thing that I used to help myself out a lot was some sticker paper. I bought some recently, and I decided that I would just print out every heading and just stick it in to make it easier for myself this time around. The quote at the bottom is from Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I absolutely loved reading that book, and it's one of my favourite historical romances. It's definitely given me a kick to get back into reading historical romances. I haven't really since I consumed Jane Austen. So yeah, really enjoyed it. This was one of the quotes. I've got two actually in the book this time around, and I thought this font would look really nice. It's actually called Austina, which very close to Austin, so I thought it worked really well with this theme. And I've been using the Crayola Supertips for this theme. These are the four main colours. Unfortunately they don't give over labels for Supertips of what colour is what, so I colour coordinated, I coded each one of the 100 that I have, but that would be my own coding compared to other people's. So these are the four that I used, and yeah, let's flip the page. So it's just a normal setup on the front page. The favourite read spot here, we've got a lot of room this time around, and then just this really simple setup here. And then onto this page, and I don't think it's going to stay, so let me grab a clip. So the monthly view is the same as last month's. I've got the calendar here for the books that I read each month, each day, and the colour coordination for that is just here. So if I read a physical book, I'll just mark it down with this colour and so forth, and how many pages I read on that day or percentage. I've got this massive section here for books brought, which hopefully won't be the case. I probably should only buy about that much because I've been buying quite a lot actually, and I just thought though it would take up enough space there to have that there. And down the side here we've got our social media tracker, so I actually haven't been doing great with this. If I go back to July, oh good, how handy. You'll see that I haven't really been filling it in, but I do want to try and give it another go. So you can see here how the calendar's working. A much more practical sized book brought section here that I haven't filled in. But yeah, I'm really hopeful that this time round I can use it a lot more than I have been. I want to try and track Instagram, social media posts, YouTube videos that I want to make, and also release dates of books that are coming out. Because August is going to be incredibly busy with books that are coming out in this month. Flipping on to the next page, it's pretty much the same as usual, except I've taken away one heading. So we've got the TBR here. I've written down the books that I'm going to read or hope to read over August. I have yet to write down the prompts. I have filmed the TBR jar, and then I have yet to write down the arcs that I have outstanding into here, but I've written down that list at least to make it look a little bit used. We've got another quote here from Bringing Down the Duke. This was one of my favourite quotes and made me laugh so much. And then we've got just the same border that I've used the whole way through. Another section of that paper here. The pens that I'm using for this setup are brand new to me. I got these last week. They are the Pilot G2 and they are 7 millimeters in size or tip. So I've got the pink, the blue and the purple, and they're really pretty. The only issue is that they do take a little bit to dry because they are quite inky, so you might see a little smudge on the next page. The other pens that I'm using for the setup is the small and the fine tip of this Faber Castell PITT Artist Pen Pack. Moving on, so we've got a new page, 2-page spread here. I was finding that I was cramping everything up on that last page and I didn't have anywhere to put my library haul, so I decided to put in some extra pages this time around. So we've got a buddy read section here now. I have a lot of buddy reads on this month, and I left a space just in case something else comes up, but I'm hoping nothing does. And library haul is down here. I've got some books on the shelf that I need to write in that I know that I won't get to in the last few days of July. I'm filming this on the 26th, so I've got a few more days left, but I'm fully busy with reading a buddy read and the last prompt of the month, which are these two books here. Don't know if you can see that. There we go. But you'll see more about that in the TBR jar video that I already filmed. And then over here we've got just a quote section. I've always wanted to write down some of my favourite quotes from the books that I'm reading, so hopefully I will be able to remember to do that. This is just a trial period. Sometimes I want to do things and then I realise that I can't really commit to them. And then finally we've got our reading log page set up, and as you can see I brought the sticker paper mostly to the stars. It sounds very first world problem, but I was getting really tired of using my Moxiedori stencil to do the stars, as you've seen in earlier months perhaps. No, that's not it. Yeah, here. They were all stenciled in. It takes a lot of time, and it's not like it's hard to do, but I do find it annoying and tedious. So I did try printing out these stars here, but I found they were just too big for the section. I did like how big they were, as in to colour in, but they were just too big. So then I've been on the search for a stamp, and last month, oh sorry, I should say this month since I'm still in it, I finally found a stamp that somewhat worked, but I found that I didn't like how it looked. Yeah, it just, I don't know, just wasn't for me. So I finally purchased some sticker paper, and I'm really happy with how clean they look. I've tested them out in another section. They are easy to draw on, so hopefully this will keep things tidy and I can just stick them down. They are a little bit tedious to stick into the book, so perhaps I need to figure out another way of doing that, or maybe get some tweezers or something. But other than that, it went really fast and I didn't have to draw 1,000 stars, so I'm really happy with how that setup came together. I unfortunately made a bit of an error here, so it probably looks really crooked on camera. I don't know, it's not so bad in person. It's not really catching my eye as much as I thought it would, so hopefully it won't annoy me too much. But we've just got the usual books section here, so we can put down the title, the author, the series, date, pages, format, and the rating here. And then I've got a page here for stats, which I've got the it's in here somewhere, I can't actually see, the heading for, let's see, here to just cut out. It's just on some sticker paper. So that is my August flip through. I'm sorry this video is not the greatest. I will be back next month with a proper plan with me video. We'll film together and set up the month of September. I'm really sad that I wasn't able to film it the way that I wanted to, because I wanted to do those new pages and film them for you all, but we will get to that. At least we have a setup ready to go for August, and I have video content to put up on my channel. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I know I mentioned that I was going to do my half-year stats, but I just haven't had time. The month of July has just swept by in a blur and now is going at a trail pace. You would think that I would have found time over the last week to set that up, but I guess I'm just going to wait till the end of the year now, or figure something else out. But for now, this is my setup. I really hope that you like it. I'm really happy with how simple it is. It's not too over the top. I'm really hopeful that things will work out for me this month and I'll enjoy using my bullet journal. So apart from that, I hope we can figure out this problem with the whole stats thing together in a few days. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.